we received, through a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, the infamous FISA warrants issued during the Obama administration and the Trump administration targeting the Trump team, namely Carter Page. And these warrants allege, they're heavily redacted. I'll show you, I don't know if you can see online. Can they see video-wise? You can see the heavy redactions. I'd say, I don't know, 75% of the material is redacted. You can see an entire redacted page there. But they confirm the serious corruption that was taking place with the FISA spying on the Trump team. So the allegation in these warrants is that Carter Page, at the time a former advisor to the Trump team, but when you look at the documents, it's clear they're targeting the Trump campaign and President Trump later. Carter Page is alleged to be an agent of a foreign power. Now, Carter Page is a veteran, and he's not an agent of a foreign power. In fact, based on what he's been saying publicly, which hasn't been contravened, is that he is a cooperator with the FBI. He travels to Russia, he's interested in Russia, does business there, and he reports back to the FBI about his trips. But they had a convenient excuse in Carter Page by using, because the Clinton-DNC dossier pretended to tie Page to the Russians, and as a point of contact for a collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign. And these documents describe this. What they don't describe, let me get back. So these documents show the Clinton-DNC dossier was used to generate secret warrants to spy on Carter Page, namely the Trump team. And the courts were misled. There's material omissions in these documents about the nature of the information the court was given. The court was misled if you look at the documents, and I encourage you to look at the documents. They're 412 pages. As I said, heavily redacted. There's another 175 pages we haven't even seen yet, but the documents show the court was misled. How was the court misled? So you know about, or you should know, that Hillary Clinton's campaign and the Democratic National Committee used a law firm to pay Fusion GPS, who worked with Christopher Steele, a former spy in the United Kingdom, to generate dirt on Donald Trump, then candidate Trump. So Steele created this dossier, he says, using Russia intelligence sources. So you had the Clinton campaign paying for Russia intelligence sources to dig up dirt on Donald Trump. And it's pretty clear they were just making up material to make Donald Trump look bad and hoping the Clinton campaign would somehow get it into the media. They probably never dreamed it would be used by the DOJ and the FBI as justification to spy on the Trump team. But indeed it was. And it was used by, and I'm convinced this is a Peter Strzok special, that FBI agent who hated Donald Trump, talked about having an insurance policy in case he was elected. These warrants, by the way, the first issued in October of 2016. That insurance policy discussion, I believe, was in August of 2016. He talked about wanting to stop Donald Trump. And he was the number 2 counterintelligence official in the FBI. So you can bet he was behind this warrant. And why is this warrant disingenuous and corrupt? Because it references the Clinton-DNC dossier material without telling the judges. There were 4 different judges because you had the original warrant and then 3 subsequent renewals, 2 of which took place during the Trump administration, believe it or not, which is kind of another scandal I'll get into. So the warrants reference the Clinton-DNC dossier material without telling the courts it's Clinton-DNC dossier material. Now the left, not even worse, then it also, to justify the warrant, references published reports, news reports, which were generated by leaks of the Fusion GPS Clinton-DNC Russia collusion material. And they also refer to State Department documents or materials that, based on my understanding, also were variations of the Clinton-DNC dossier materials. And they also reference concerns by Congress that were generated as a result of John Brennan, the CIA director, leaking it to the Congress, specifically Senator Harry Reid, with the expectation and hope, according to Reid, that it would get out, which of course Reid dutifully did by sending a letter that was immediately leaked. So you have the Clinton-DNC dossier referenced, and then 3 other references that the government pretends are separate but aren't separate. So talk about dishonesty. This is the equivalent of a self-licking ice cream cone. I've got this source, that source, that source, and that source, and they're all the same source. It's like my telling you, hey, guess what I heard? And you say, oh yeah, who'd you hear it from? And I tell you, me, myself, and I. 3 sources. Talk about dishonesty. And who's behind this dishonesty? The FBI, the Justice Department under Barack Obama, and the FBI and Justice Department under President Trump. And I'm going to name the names. Who signed off on the warrants? Sally Yates, the disgraced former Deputy Attorney General under Obama, who was holdover temporary Attorney General, acting Attorney General for President Trump for a time before she was fired for misconduct for refusing to defend his travel ban rulings or his travel ban executive order. You had James Comey sign off on these warrants, or at least 1 or 2, I think 2 of them. Of course, he was fired by President Trump for misconduct, and of course he's been caught up in a leak investigation, and he stole Trump's FBI files and leaked them illegally to the media. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director of the FBI, fired for misconduct under criminal investigation for unauthorized leaks, or actually for lying about his involvement in leaks. He signed off on it. 2 other people did. Dana Bente, I think it's Buente, B-O-E-N-T-E. Now, Mr. Buente used to be an Obama administration U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. So very much in the top leagues in the FBI or the Justice Department. After Obama left office, believe it or not, he moved over to the Justice Department under President Trump. And he then left that slot. I think he was running in the National Security Division. So that is probably in that capacity, I recall, he signed off on one of these warrants. Now he's working as the top lawyer in the FBI, general counsel to the FBI. So an Obama holdover that managed to be the number 2 official at the FBI under, not number 2 literally, but a top official at the FBI. And who else signed off on it? Rod Rosenstein. Now you know all about Rod Rosenstein, Obama U.S. Attorney in Maryland, I think for the full 8 years, and now Deputy Attorney General under President Trump, who's overseeing the Mueller operation.